What's going on, Reds? It's your boy Matt here for another episode of Liverpool Latest, and this episode was almost potentially non-existent, at least with any big news. But over the course of the last several hours today, I've been doing a lot of research, making my rounds, checking the everything, and lo and behold, we got news from everything with Alexander Isak. What's going to happen with his potential return on Sunday against Man City as far as the lineup goes. Mark Gahey, we got some news on him as far as other teams that were either in the pot for him or looking to poach him from a potential Liverpool signing. And last but not least, Harvey Elliott is struggling, to say the least, at Aston Villa. First and foremost, let's talk about Isak. This news kind of broke a day or so prior to me making this video, but this whole thing started when the Swedish national team head coach Graham Potter, he revealed that Isak was being called up for November's World Cup qualifier against Switzerland and Slovenia, and that he considered him available. Granted, he was progressing well from his injury, which was an abductor injury, which has kept him out for the last 4 games. I will say this much. Once that news broke, Liverpool fans had a lot of hope, and I could probably confirm that Alexander Isak will be in some way, shape, or form on the bench on Sunday against City. He won't start, which is probably expected, given he has this injury for him has been a long while. But there's potential for him to sub in at some point during the game, and I can't be more happier about that. It's good. It's good. It means that we have another body, especially another striker, which, not that we haven't really been lacking in those, but they've certainly been lacking in, getting chances. We've scored goals, we've won games, but let's be honest, we haven't scored as many as we'd like to the last couple of weeks. So the hope is that Isak could, now that he's back from injury, he can get the ball rolling for us. But will Arne Slot be able to create the tactics and the lineup we need to beat City on Sunday? That is the question I ask you next. The good news is that with everybody, or at least some of the guys coming back from injury, it's a good problem to have that Slot now has options on the starting 11. That said, who's going to get left out? And that is the problem we find ourselves, because obviously when it comes to, Slot's picks over the course of the last couple weeks, not everybody is necessarily happy with this particular player being left off, that particular player, whether it's Chiesa or Editike or Wirtz or anyone of that nature. Why is Cody Gakpo still in the game? And he's screwing up all these chances. Like, people are always asking these questions. I find myself asking them too. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that we don't know what potentially could happen is actually probably a good thing. Because the good news is we won't be starting 21-year-olds. Not like we did against Palace. But I will say, we have faced these problems of, when it comes to the selections of, fatigue. We don't want people to get super tired. We know that internationals are coming up too, so that might be a problem in itself. But there's a couple of people that I've been seeing named as far as the quote-unquote problems of who's going to start. Wirtz has been one of those names being thrown around. I would not be shocked if he's on the bench. But I'll be happy if he is on the pitch to start the match. Cody Gakpo, I don't know. He might. That one can go either way. Connor Bradley, he might stay at right back. I would not be super shocked given the performance he had against Real Madrid. Plus, Frimpong is still injured, so he'll have to stay there. Robertson probably will start on the left side because, well, Kirkez is beyond unreliable right now. The inconsistency he's been showing is, astounding. So, as much as I am not the biggest Andy Robertson fan, I support the idea of him starting at the position going forward until they figure out what they want to do with Kirkheads. As far as the midfield goes, that's kind of up in the air. Obviously, Dominic Soboslai needs to start. He's been easily our most consistent player all season so far, and I've been saying this to the heavens. McAllister, he's starting to come back to form. Does he start? I'm not sure. My hope is that there's a potential for him to be in the game in some capacity, but I don't know if he'll start. Curtis Jones. That's going to be a tough one for me. If it was up to me, I would have Jones on the bench. I would put Verts over Jones any day of the week. Unfortunately, I'm not a coach. I can't make, or a manager. I can't make these decisions. So we'll have to see what's going on. That being said, it has been proven that Slot has had some, tactical supremacy against Pep and Man City because, he did use a midfield of Jones, McAllister, Soboslai, and Gravenberch. Gravenberch can also be another potential name thrown in there as well. And we had won a game 2-0 last season. So I think we have a shot to have a really good setup. And I'm not even just talking about a starting 11. I'm talking about backups too. When was the last time we had pretty significant backups for options? I feel like this is like a whole new team going in right now. I'm excited. I'm shaking the camera, as you can see a little bit on the screen there. But we'll just have to see what happens there. I'll tell you right now, as far as the defense goes, we could potentially be bolstering up that in regards to Mark Gahey because the transfer tug of war is still going on between several different clubs, mind you. The two main clubs I have seen, as far as this morning goes, is Liverpool and Bayern Munich. Okay? Real Madrid was apparently in the race, but decided to withdraw due to the fact that some of the demands that were being asked were not up to what they wanted to offer him. So I think that's why they had pulled out. That said, I also did see a tweet about an hour or so ago that it's from Indie Kyla News, who has a pretty significant following. So I'm going to take this as legit at face value here. We understand on Tuesday that Manchester United tried to hijack Liverpool transfer target Mark Gahey. Word came in on Tuesday afternoon that United's making a serious move for him. And by Tuesday evening, Liverpool got their heads up from their sources at Palace. Liverpool is still very confident on signing the player, but the package Manchester United is still very attractive compared to Liverpool. That said, Mark Gahey has said he wants Champions League football, and it seems like United. It's one of the things that United cannot offer him right now, anyway. So we're kind of at this is a weird war going on, man. And all because we couldn't secure him at the deadline. I saw another video from, I don't think it was the manager. I think it was like maybe one of the owners of Crystal Palace in a sit-down interview. They was talking about the fact that, keeping Gahey was important for them this season because, they're playing more football now. Considering I think they're in 4 leagues or playing 4 games from different leagues now. So I think between the Carabao Cup, I think they're in the Champions League. I'm not entirely sure. And if they aren't, they're definitely probably in the Europa. And obviously the Premier League. And there might be another one I can't place right now, but it seems like they had, from what it seemed like, they're playing in like 3 or 4 different leagues right now or tournaments. And it was important for them from a leadership perspective and the difference between having a stellar season in a upper echelon tier in the table, or being threatened by relegation. So listen, they should have done it sooner. I will say this until I am blue in the face. Liverpool should have gotten this done sooner because we still don't know what's going on with Konate. Okay? We still don't know what's going on with Ibu. And the fact that we don't know what's going on with Ibu is making me nervous. Now, granted, he had a very good showing against Real Madrid, but that still doesn't mean he won't possibly go there. Okay? I haven't heard anything about that contract news earlier in the week that I talked about. I still think that's bullshit, to be honest with you. And it seems like it's leaning more towards bullshit because I have not seen any confirmation of a contract being offered to Konate to either accept or deny. So we'll have to see. Konate is kind of reeling on this. I don't think Liverpool's going to sell him mid-season either. So I don't think he's going to leave at all before the end of the season. But I do think if they don't get a deal done for him at the end of the Premier League race, we might be screwed here because not picking up Gahey when we had the chance the first time was rough, and it showed for quite a while. Now let's see if we can actually get him on the second go-around for the mid-season transfer window. Man, I don't know. It's making me nervous. I mean, it makes me nervous because he's easily a natural replacement for Konate, you know? It bums me out. It really, things like this bum me out because in my position, I would have been a lot more urgent about things like this. Maybe they thought he was going to re-sign. I'm not sure. But you can't. The good news is outside of United, we only have Bayern Munich to worry about because it seems like the other teams aren't too much into it. I mean, Real Madrid pulling out was probably the best thing that could have happened to us. Let's be honest. Last but certainly not least, as we continue to talk about players both with and former with us, Harvey Elliott, who's currently on loan to Aston Villa during the summer transfer window. He's been having a tough time at Villa, man. I feel really bad for him. He's only made... There's a clause that says he only triggers if he makes 10 appearances for Villa, that they have an obligation to buy him. So far, Elliott has made only 5 of those 10 appearances, meaning the permanent deal is not yet guaranteed. And it's clear as day that they don't want to use him. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the biggest Harvey Elliott fan. I like Harvey. I think he offers a lot of energy to the team when he's on the pitch. That said, I feel like sometimes he gets really lazy. I take the penalty shootout that we had against Palace during the Community Shield game. That was probably one of the worst penalties I've ever seen taken. And I know Harvey Elliott is better than that. That guy didn't even want to try to even make that goal. I think he missed the net entirely. I'm not going to lie. I think if I remember correctly, he missed the net entirely wide up top. So that soured me on Harvey. But I still love the guy. But yeah, you got to make that shit. You got to make that shit, man. Yeah, he's been left as an unused substitute in 3 of those games. He's been left out of the squad entirely when Villa took on City and won. I don't know what Emery's decision is to not use him. Apparently, he is considering it a tactical decision for him, and he says Elliott is training well and has played in some matches, but his performances, and this is a quote, were not what we needed. So it begs the question, Liverpool are obviously concerned about the lack of playing time. So, and there's a couple of people that are like scouts or pundits. They're former United chief scout Mick Brown, who actually has connections to Liverpool figures, believe it or not. Liverpool expected the move to Villa to be permanent. And I mean, when you when you do a whole, oh, we're going to say goodbye to you now on Twitter or social media, like, thanks for all your service, uh, you kind of expect that to be the end. I don't expect Simicast to come back. That's for sure. I'd be a little surprised if Simicast comes back. But, you know, Liverpool, I'm pretty sure, had more hope in having Harvey Elliott play, and it now looks uncertain due to those limited minutes that he's been getting. And again, Emery doesn't seem like he's fully satisfied. He says he's training well, but why is he not playing him? He can. Harvey's a great substitute. He's not a starter by any means, at least not for bigger name, at least not against bigger name clubs. Smaller clubs and weaker clubs easily can start matches, if you ask me. He can offer that, but bigger names like City, United, Liverpool, I mean, there's a reason why he didn't start against us a few weeks ago now. And honestly, it sucks for him, because I saw a post that got everybody all riled up, like he was posting watching the Aston Villa Liverpool match, and he put hearts on the Instagram story, right? And everybody's like, "Oh, we miss you, Harvey. We miss you, Harvey." And don't get me wrong, I miss him too. But I sat there, I'm like, "Oh, he's making this messy." he's trying to send out some subliminal messages. Maybe he wants to come home. Maybe he wants to be played more. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The other, I mean, and last but certainly not least, I mean, I'm sure it's not just because he's not fully satisfying with his contribution to the match, but I think it also is because they don't know how to use him as far as tactics go. It's a position identity problem that Harvey faces now. He's not an out and out winger, and he's also not a natural center midfielder. So where does he fall? What position could he play? I always preferred him in midfield. So I always thought he played his best in midfield. I don't really like him too much as a striker, to be honest with you. But that's just my personal opinion. So I understand why, as far as the current group that Emery had before getting Harvey, why he's facing this, difficult decision from a tactics point of view. It's like, hey, I got this young guy from Liverpool on a loan. What do I do with him? I'll throw him in and see what happens. Oh, he's not playing too well? He's not really that great for us? We're not playing him. That's essentially what it seems like. And, of course, Brown thinks that he doesn't think that Villa was the right choice for Harvey to go. But that's neither here nor there at this point. I don't think that relationship is going to work out. I wonder if Harvey's going to come home. We'll see what happens with that. But that's been Liverpool Latest for you guys today. I do, as always, greatly appreciate any support you can offer the channel. We got a lot of stuff coming up. A lot of big game coming up this weekend. I'll be talking about some more news has been coming about that I didn't get to today, but I'll have that all for you tomorrow. So, with that being said, to end off on a positive note, as always, you will never walk alone.